For many years, global air power was a conversation dominated by just two names: the United States and Russia. China was often mentioned only as a follower, a nation that learned by copying, modifying, and slowly catching up. But history has a habit of changing quietly. While much of the world was focused elsewhere, China made a calculated decision, not to compete loudly, but to build patiently. The result of that decision is now visible in the skies, and it has forced military planners around the world to rethink old assumptions. Today, China operates some of the most advanced fighter jets ever built, not as experimental projects, but as real deployed aircraft flying real missions. These jets are not designed to impress airshow crowds. They are designed to shift power balances. And the two aircraft at the center of this transformation are the J-20 Mighty Dragon and the newer J-35 stealth fighter. To understand why these jets matter, we must first understand why China built them in the first place. China's military strategy has always been different from that of the United States. While America focuses on global reach, the ability to fight anywhere in the world, China focuses on regional dominance. Its priorities are clear: the Taiwan Strait, the South China Sea, and the Western Pacific. To control these regions, China needed more than upgraded fourth-generation jets. It needed aircraft that could survive in modern, radar-dense environments and strike before being detected. This requirement led directly to the creation of the J-20. The J-20 Mighty Dragon first flew in 2011, a moment that surprised many defense analysts. At the time, few believed China was capable of producing a true fifth-generation stealth fighter. Yet, just 6 years later, in 2017, the J-20 officially entered operational service. That single milestone placed China in a very exclusive group. Only one other country in the world had managed to do this before: the United States. What makes the J-20 unique is not just its stealth, but its purpose. Unlike the American F-22, which was designed primarily for air-to-air dogfighting superiority, the J-20 is optimized for long-range interception and first-strike capability. It is built to engage enemy aircraft before they get close enough to threaten Chinese airspace. This explains why the aircraft is larger than many of its Western counterparts and why range and missile capability matter more than tight maneuverability. The design of the J-20 immediately stands out. Its long fuselage, sharp angles, and forward canards sparked intense debate when the aircraft was first revealed. Traditional stealth designs avoid canards because they can reflect radar waves. However, stealth is not a single trick. It is a combination of shaping, materials, and tactics. Chinese engineers optimized the J-20 for frontal stealth, which is the most critical direction during an intercept mission. From the front, where radar detection matters most, the aircraft presents a significantly reduced radar signature compared to older fighters. Inside its internal weapons bays, the J-20 carries advanced Chinese missiles, including the PL-15 long-range air-to-air missile. This missile has changed how analysts view Chinese air combat capability. With an estimated engagement range exceeding 200 kilometers, the PL-15 allows Chinese pilots to fire from distances that force adversaries to react defensively rather than offensively. Modern air combat is no longer about who can turn tighter in the sky. It is about who controls distance, information, and timing. However, no discussion of the J-20 would be complete without addressing its biggest challenge: engines. For years, China relied on Russian engines because domestic alternatives were not mature enough. Early J-20s flew with Russian AL-31s, which limited performance. Over time, China introduced its own WS-15 engine, specifically designed for fifth-generation fighters. While this engine represents a major achievement, Experts agree that China is still refining reliability, efficiency, and long-term durability. Engine development is one of the hardest challenges in aerospace, and even small improvements take years. Despite these limitations, the J-20 has steadily improved. Later variants feature better avionics, improved sensors, and enhanced data link capabilities. The aircraft is designed to operate as part of a larger network, sharing information with ground radar, early warning aircraft, and even satellites. In modern warfare, the jet that sees the battlefield first often wins without ever entering a close-range fight. While the J-20 dominates China's land-based air power, China's ambitions do not stop at the shoreline. This brings us to the J-35, China's next major leap in fighter aviation. The J-35 is a stealth fighter designed specifically for aircraft carrier operations, a task that dramatically increases engineering complexity. Carrier aircraft must survive brutal landings, short takeoffs, and harsh maritime environments, all while maintaining stealth characteristics. China's growing carrier fleet made the J-35 a necessity. With carriers like Liaoning and Shandong, and the more advanced Fujian, which uses electromagnetic catapult systems, China needed a stealth aircraft capable of operating from these platforms. The J-35 fills that role. Smaller and more versatile than the J-20, it is designed for strike missions, fleet defense, and escort duties over open ocean. The J-35 emphasizes sensor fusion and networked combat. Rather than acting alone, it is built to work alongside naval vessels, airborne early warning aircraft, and unmanned drones. This approach reflects a global shift in air combat philosophy. Fighter jets are no longer just weapons. They are flying data hubs. The J-35's ability to collect, process, and share information may ultimately be as important as its missiles. It is important to be realistic. China's stealth fighters are powerful, but they are not invincible. The United States still maintains advantages in pilot training hours, combat experience, and engine maturity. Stealth coatings require intensive maintenance, and sustaining large stealth fleets is extremely challenging. China is learning these lessons in real time, improving with each new production batch. What truly sets China apart is the speed of learning. Unlike slower military development cycles elsewhere, China rapidly incorporates lessons into new variants. Each iteration brings improvements in software, sensors, and systems integration. This pace is what concerns military planners more than any single specification. These aircraft matter not because they guarantee victory, but because they remove certainty. They force adversaries to plan more carefully, invest more heavily, and assume higher risk. The presence of J-20s near the Taiwan Strait and the future deployment of J-35s at sea fundamentally change how power is calculated in the Asia-Pacific region. China's fighter jets represent a shift, not just in technology, but in confidence. They signal that China no longer sees itself as catching up, but as competing directly at the highest level of military aviation. The sky over the Pacific is no longer dominated by one nation, and that reality will shape global security for decades to come. If you want a detailed comparison between China's jets and American stealth fighters, or an analysis of future sixth-generation aircraft, let me know. Because the future of air combat is unfolding right now, and it is far more complex than most people imagine.